Yo guys, what is up? It's your boy NikNacc here, coming at you again with another brand new video, and today I'm going to be going over some of the tips and tricks that you can use to your advantage in Apex Legends. This game recently released, and it's quite a unique twist on the Battle Royale genre, offering a lot of new things to the table, while bringing in some formulas from other games to make it a well-rounded and fun experience for anyone who decides to play. That being said, it's not the easiest thing to adjust to if you're used to something like Fortnite or PUBG, and can have quite a steep learning curve if you're new to the genre. Which is why today I'm going to go over some beginner tips and tricks that you can use to your advantage in Apex Legends. Tip number one that I have for you guys is to pick a hero and to main that hero. This may sound a little odd, but you're going to want to choose one of the legends and you're going to want to stick with it. Obviously have a backup ready in case someone takes yours. However, as a general rule of thumb, having one hero prepped and ready to go in battle is a good idea. Each hero has a unique set of abilities that are good for different playstyles. Find out which one suits your playstyle and go with that hero as a main. Tip number two is to know what fights to pick. The time to kill in this game is ridiculously long, and if some people have better weapons than you that deal a lot higher damage, you're going to get melted fairly quickly. Now, what do I mean by choosing the battles that you fight? I mean, generally, as a rule of thumb, if you're alone by yourself and you see a whole squad down in the middle of a valley, do not shoot at them, because they will immediately react to that, and 3 versus 1 is not good odds in your favour. Pick fights with your team, and pick fights that you know you can win, or else this may result in frustrating deaths and ways in which you could have avoided that. Basically, trigger discipline is important. Know when to take your shots, and know what fights you can win. Tip number 3 may seem like a pretty obvious one, but map knowledge. Now, map knowledge is key, and you need to know where the high loot is going to spawn if you're going to want to have a chance of mowing down the squads in the later rounds. In order to do this, you can search around online and find some tier list places for where you want to land, or just play around in game and test it out yourself. In the game, every time you enter a new area, there is a handy little indicator in the top left that tells you the name of the location, as well as the tier of loot there, so that can be useful to use to your advantage. It's not going to hurt you to learn the map and overall know where the best stuff will spawn, and it's going to give you an advantage that you're going to need to take down other people. Tip number 4 may seem obvious as well, but if you're used to other Battle Royale games, then you'll know that you can sometimes drop solo and get away with it. In this game, however, it is ridiculously hard to win a game if you don't have your entire team with you. Each unique team member can offer unique abilities, which will help you take down squads and overall get more wins. If you drop by yourself, you're increasing your chances of dying, as well as putting a lot of a burden on your squad mates in order to come and get your token, and ultimately this could lead to your squad getting wiped out and being sent back to the lobby. This relates to the next tip, which is to use your pinging system. There is a great pinging system in this game, which is useful for marking out loot, locations, and enemies, and if you can learn to use this effectively, this will give you an advantage over your teammates. It is used on the middle mouse button on PC by default, and I'm not sure what it is on consoles, but I'm sure you could look it up and find out, as it is well worth knowing how to use. Essentially, mark loot, mark enemies, mark locations you are going to. It's that easy, and it will save you a lot of trouble. This leads us into the next tip, which is to coordinate your team. If you're playing with a group of friends, then you guys can work together and figure out which group of heroes works best together in order to produce the maximum positive results. You can do this with strangers too over the mic in the early lobby. Just discuss what kind of team setup you want and then drop in. Some hero combinations are obviously going to be a lot better than others, and in order to choose the maximum potential one, you're going to want to play around a bit and find out what works best for your playstyle. But overall, just figure out which setup works best for you and roll with it. Next tip I'm going to give you guys is to learn the weapons. On the official Apex website, you'll find a list of weapons, which tells you exactly what they do, what ammo they take, and genuinely how they play. Now you can use this to your advantage and find what kind of loadout suits you, whether it be a sniper or a shotgun. These can ultimately affect your playstyle, how many kills you get, and ultimately your result at the end. It is always good to choose a loadout that suits your playstyle, so bear that in mind as you're looking through the weapons, and keep an eye out for them next time you drop into the Battle Royale map. The next tip I'm going to give you may seem quite odd, but don't rush in and try and revive your teammates straight away. If it's a situation where you're obviously going to get pummeled by a squad, wait it out and hope that they don't camp around the loot and move on. If they don't know where you are, then it's an easy opportunity to swoop in and grab your teammate's token, take it to the nearest area to revive him, and call him back in on the ship so that you can take down the squad as a duo rather than a solo. The same here goes for loot. Don't always rush in to get better loot, as sometimes you'll be giving up a tactical advantage that you have, and this may result in death. Just keep a cool head and figure out what the most smart thing to do in this situation is, rather than getting yourself killed. Make smart choices, not greedy choices. The last and final tip I'm going to give you guys is one that I hear a lot when people want to get better at video games, but it's practice. Practice with anything makes perfect, and if you continuously drop into Battle Royale in this game, you're not going to get worse. The only thing that's going to happen is you're going to learn the map, you're going to learn the guns, you're going to learn your hero's ability, and you're going to overall become a better player the more you play. No tips or tricks videos can make you better, but they can give you useful pointers on how to improve, and that's what I'm trying to do here. I want you to take all of these tips away and practice them in a real game, and if you put 3 or 4 hours into the game every single week, you never know, you might find yourself getting a lot better than you thought you ever would. Obviously play to your own time restrictions, however practice does make perfect, and nothing can really make you better other than putting hours into the game. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If these tips have helped you in any way, consider dropping a like, and if you like my content, consider subscribing, because that would mean a lot to me, and I'm going to be uploading more Apex Legends in the future for you guys to enjoy. I hope you enjoyed. This has been NikNacc. Peace out.